Imagine a world where you don't need lawyers, bankers, tax collectors to be all up in your business. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mike. Today we're going to talk about just that, minding your business, but more importantly, crypto, blockchain, and DeFi, which is a word that's been thrown around a lot, but really, what is it? Now, if you've seen some of my past videos, I've mentioned smart contracts often whenever I'm talking about cryptocurrency. Smart contract to me is the future. It's already happening. It's something that we all need to pay attention to. Ladies and gentlemen, I recently had LASIK surgery, so my eyes is still pretty bloodshot. Okay, so bear with me. As a matter of fact, if you want to improve the quality and the health of my eyes, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That would help me out a lot. Smart contracts. You've heard me say this term over and over and over again, but what the hell does it mean? So a smart contract, think of your smartphone. A smart contract is an agreement that's built on the blockchain technology, but it's between two parties. And when I say two parties, I really mean two parties. Doesn't involve more input from outsiders. For example, right now, if you were doing a deal or say you were buying a house, generally when you're buying a house, it's not just a direct thing where you go to the seller, you pay them, and then you get the house. There's a process to it. You have to get a loan officer, you have to get a banker, a lawyer is involved, your accountant is involved, at least in my case, the tax assessor is involved. There's all these different parties involved in the process, and guess what? Everyone is going to get paid. The lawyer involved is going to take their fees or legal fees. Accountant is going to take their fees. Tax collector for sure is going to take the taxes off of the sale of the property. Your agent is going to take their fees. Your loan officer is going to take all of their fees. So you have all of these parties involved, and also that means it's going to cost you more or cost the seller. But what a smart contract does is it really ties the agreement between just you and the seller, and not necessarily all of these other parties involved. That's the best way I can explain it right now. But smart contracts are really built on this new phenomenon called DeFi. You may have heard this term thrown around a lot, especially in the crypto world. DeFi stands for decentralized finance. Again, self-explanatory. And that's really what the blockchain and crypto is pushing, decentralized. When you think of decentralized, think of the opposite. It's better to use the opposite to explain what decentralized means. The way we currently do business or any transaction right now is through dollars. Right? You have dollars or whatever currencies at your country. That's what we use to buy and sell things. That's centralized. And centralized is a fancy way of really saying controlled. Our monies are controlled, our transactions are controlled by just a small group of institutions, aka the government, aka the Federal Reserve or hedge funds managers. These are the folks controlling how we go about spending, buying, and selling things. And this new phenomenon that crypto and the blockchain technology is introducing is going to break that chain, meaning the market and everyday people will finally control how we do things. That's what decentralized is. But truly, if you're new to crypto, or perhaps there's just too much information out there, I can totally understand that you can get overwhelmed by this stuff. But it is important to know what these things mean, because it's what's going to drive the future, and why I think you need to get on the train of crypto and blockchain right now. It's not going anywhere. It's really going to do some amazing things. But let me get back into what DeFi solves for us. I recently read an article on yahoo.com that covers this stuff in details, and I'm going to put the link in the description. So if you love to read, that article explains everything in more detail than I'm about to tell you right now. The problems that DeFi solves for all of us. Number one is no more papers. As I gave the example earlier, right now we have some form of that, where if you're doing a big transaction, generally speaking, you can sign digitally. You don't have to be there in person. But with DeFi, aka smart contracts, or through smart contracts, that we don't need paperwork anymore, because everything will be stored in the blockchain. And what the blockchain provides is security and legitimacy. Any agreement between myself and you, it's in the blockchain and it's stored there for good. There's no need to sign 100 or a ton of papers. So that's the first problem that DeFi is going to solve for us. Number two is you no longer have to deal with multiple entities. Basically, Cut out the middleman. The example I gave earlier, if you were buying a house right now, there's so many different parties involved just to make one transaction happen. Well, through smart contracts, you no longer have to deal with a lawyer or agent or banker or lender and all these different parties collecting fees, where when you have a contract, you simply have a contract between two parties. Now, obviously, you can have as many people involved in this contract as you want, but in total, you'd have less people and less input from outsiders. It's just going to be mostly you and the other person that you're dealing with. You make an agreement, boom, 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 and everything is set to go. Less fees, and everybody walks away happy. Number 3 is timing. Well, guess what? When you don't have so many different parties involved in your transaction, that automatically means less time to close. Right now, it can take you up to 90 days to close on a house, and that's because you have so many different parties and businesses involved. When you don't have all these different intermediaries that have to dig their fingers into your business, it also means you don't need to work on their time. You basically work on your time, and generally speaking, a deal that would normally take 30 to 90 days can now take a couple of days to do. Personally, I think this is the most crucial part because time is the most important asset that we have. And when you have a technology that can practically save us time in doing business, I think it's the best solution. And the last solution that decentralized finance provides for us is equal opportunities. Well, let me take that back. There's really no such thing as equal opportunities, but this will even the playing field a lot more than what we have right now. When you don't have just a small group of institutions or companies control the entire financial markets, that really opens the door for the average Joe to go do this or buy this or transact with this. Here's the thing, right now, and I imagine even in the future, it's always going to be who you know, right? You can get things done based on who you know. But as we have it right now, when you think of even, let's say, NASDAQ or the stock market, if you wanted to get into stock and trading, or maybe a decade ago, you have to go through these small channels or go through these big companies that generally cater to high net worth individual or high net worth companies. And the average people or average person doesn't necessarily have access to these processes or these tools. And that's why, again, gap between rich gets like this, and that's because of access. This is a problem that DeFi will solve for a lot of people. When you think of marginalized groups or discrimination practices in the process of getting loans and buying things, all of that will be out the window. Everyone will now have access to be able to transact, and it doesn't matter what you look like or if you hung out with Kim Kardashian last week. It really matters if you have access to this technology, which decentralized means you will. And that's a big solution for a lot of people. I want you to start thinking in these terms. Whenever I'm talking about crypto, or you hear anybody else talking about crypto and the blockchain, these are the problems that it's going to bring solutions to. It really makes our world better. If you're just sitting on the sideline right now and perhaps you're overwhelmed by information, or you just think this whole thing is it's just crap, it's a scam, I'm here to tell you that it's not. There are real solutions that are coming, and also this should inform you, if you're looking to invest in crypto, what type of crypto perhaps you should be investing in. Don't just watch a video, educate yourself. My rule of thumb is this: for the next year or two, if you're looking to get started to invest in a particular coin or just the blockchain, I would focus my attention on DeFi. Anything that's involving decentralized financing or creating of smart contracts, then I would focus on those assets, and perhaps that's something that has real use and that will have real use in the real world. That's my spiel for today. I really hope you learned something. Whether you agree or disagree with me, I want to know in the comments below. Again, my name is Mike. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.